Anyway, my name's Dante Miller. This is my first time presenting here. We'll go to the next slide. I'll just jump right to it. Anyway, that's me as a kid. Although I did play sports, I sucked at it, but I played every sport imaginable, and I still sucked at all of it. My mom raised me by herself. My dad left when I was 6 months old. Don't have any brothers and sisters. Don't have any really grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, so it's pretty much just me. My mother ended up having some mental illness and some drug addiction, so she's on her own as well. So it's been me most of my life. So I was born in Denver, but moved to California when I was 5, raised in San Pedro, and things were going okay for me, actually pretty good for me. I got into some gifted programs for mathematics and performing arts, so things did well. But my mom moved back to Colorado and it didn't go so well, so I ended up living on top of commercial buildings and laundry room floors, and I begged for quarters. I was afraid to beg for money, but I begged for quarters to use a phone, and I used that to buy ramen and go to the McDonald's or different stuff and cook my food, and ended up meeting several of the kids on the street, and I took care of them. And it actually was a great experience for me to be found valuable, so I took care of others for a while. After about 6 months, the police put me back in home for a little while. And then, but I missed enough school to where I couldn't really graduate on time. So instead of going my senior year, I got my GED, went to college, which was cool. Next slide. But it's really hard to work and go to school without any support. So I ended up finding a job that said no experience necessary, well trained, didn't say what it was. Turned out it was Arthur Murray Dance School. Went there, had no experience dancing, no want to dance actually, besides hip hop and break dancing, but that doesn't really travel well. But it turns out that the people that pick up really well suck at teaching it, because they're picked up so well that they just were not really the best people to kind of communicate and be patient with people. I took so long that after 6 months, I finally got it. Those 2 people quit and I took over their clients, and then I was the top teacher for 2 years at Arthur Murray. After that, I got offered a great opportunity to go to Texas at 19, and I ended up teaching and competing around the United States on cruise ships, performing, been several places around the world then. If you want to click on that Dancing with Stars link, if it'll let you click on it. I don't know if it'll work. See if it'll see it. I did at one point in time, not too long ago, have my own dance studio. Club International is the only. You can kind of see what we used to teach and do and perform at. There's some of my teachers. And there's me taking one of my students, of course. Corky Ballas from Dancing with the Stars was one of our judges. We did a lot of charities, performing arts fundraisers, as you can get an idea of where we kind of took it to. Club International makes bad dancers good and good dancers great. I like to do the fun stuff, creative stuff. Anyway. Cool. So there you go. A little bit of dancing in the background there. I don't know if you can hop back to the PDF. But the problem with dancing, which can be a lot of y'all's businesses, having more teachers is difficult, because when you're teaching and training, it's hard to train people to teach and train. And when you're running it all yourself, it just is difficult. Also, it's hard on the knees, it's hard on the arms, hard on the shoulders. You hold a lot of people up. Does create a lot of stress, and I knew that I couldn't create the profit I needed to survive. So next slide. So at age 25, I became a real estate agent, and it was my favorite thing in the world, because one thing that I suck at still to this day is sales. I have a little bit of an issue of selling something to somebody that I like and them going back and forth, and it's difficult for me. I prefer to work with them and help them buy or help them sell. It's just a different tactic and style that's worked for me. So I don't do great at collecting money. I do great at trying to make more money off of people. It's just a difficult task. In real estate, it works really, really well. I can work night, day, 7 days a week, show 1,000 homes, do whatever. I don't care. They don't buy because they didn't find something. I don't care, right? So it was a really valuable experience for me. But I said, well, I'm from Colorado. I'm gonna go back to Colorado and do this. But Colorado and Texas don't talk. So I had to redo all my licensing, get a job in lending, do telemarketing, which is another worst for me. So I worked 4 months telemarketing mortgages, didn't sell a thing, but they still kept us there. I have no idea why. But it was a great experience to get into lending and real estate. Moved back to Texas because my wife at the time said we weren't gonna have any kids if we didn't move back, so I had to move back. And I got a job at Countrywide Home Loans. One of the best and worst experiences of my life. So again, they worked a lot, 12, 15, 16-hour days, nonstop. They push your bonuses off for 3 months. So I was starving for a while. And at the end of 3 months, they pushed it the 4th month. At the end of 4th month, they pushed it the 5th month. And then a week before, they fired me. They tried not to give me any unemployment or anything because they had written me up for not putting the bathroom key back in the right spot and to taking on too much workload, things like that. So that was where I decided maybe corporate life or regular companies isn't my life. I lived a different way. Maybe my way would be different. And the good part is they didn't show up for the hearing for the unemployment. So I did end up getting free schooling because I couldn't get a job for doing what I did. And it was enough schooling to open up my own real estate and loan brokerage. So in 2004, I named it after my daughter, Jazz, and opened it up. Things were going good. In 2006, I started my own construction team because we were mainly helping lower income or first time home buyers. So we had to fix up the places or make them and flip them for them. And then combining the lending mainly because we did down payment assistance, free credit score boosting, all the really hard stuff. And it all worked good together. But in 2008, when the banks froze, there was a big issue with having your real estate and lending as one company. And everything went to more government loan products, which required me to become two companies. And it's really difficult when you're flipping mansions, which I shouldn't have been, but I started doing that for some dumb reason. So I had a huge amount of expense and no ability to make money. So it took me out. All my companies went under, which sucked. Then I came back in as just a lender. But the benefit of that is I was really able to work with realtors or construction people much better and train and did coaching. And I became one of the top lenders in Corpus Christi. 2014, I was affiliate of the year. We did mostly self-generated loans, which means make friends, build relationships. So I did 108 self-gen loans. I had 8 assistants. Did really, really well, but did realize that bringing mortgages itself is kind of a product where no matter how hard you work, sometimes underwriting or sometimes other people would say no or turn stuff down. Plus I took on the hard stuff, which means that my percentage of closes would be a lot less. If you only help people with bad credit, had no money, that shifted jobs, that bought cars at the last minute, it's hard, right? It's life. And 72 of my 108 people were zero down, zero move-in total. So that means that I got them in with nothing, but that was harder, longer, and it paid less oftentimes to do down payment assistance. So it's a trick. It was fine. I said, you know what? I don't want to compete with my realtors, so I'll open a home building business. Love building homes, but this gets back to my ability to sell. So if I'm building you a home and you want this, 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 and I want you to be happy, it's difficult to maximize my profit. And over time, that was my struggle is, yes, there was always good reasons why something should be redone or refixed or done something, and it really made it hard the longer it took to make money. So after a few years of that, I go, I love working with the clients, I love doing this, but I can't sell to somebody my profit margin goes against their pocketbook. It just doesn't work for me. How could I make it work? So what happened is I started trying to flip homes, and then I started flipping homes and realized it worked better for me because me and my team would work on the property to do the best we could. We're all on the same page. Sell it to somebody else who can inspect it, not like it or not buy it, but I wasn't building it for that person. So without that person in mind, I do with math and what makes sense and what's logical. And so by doing that, it found my calling of being able to flip and do better. It also used a lot of my real estate skills and some of lending, so I started to like it. But it took a while to craft, like anything when you first do it. For example, the first flip we did, made a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom, a 1-bath, a 2-bath, expanded, made a big deck, did the perfect, beautiful house that the bank and everybody believed would make money, and it didn't make money because there's more to it than that, which we'll learn through the time. Let me see the next slide. Before we get to that, I missed the last part. So what happened weird though from those is in COVID year also was when I knew that I was gonna move back to California or move somewhere. Actually, I didn't know it was gonna be California per se. I wanted to, because that's where I was from, but a lot had to do with whether the kids got scholarships somewhere, where I could find a job to get us through a move. And so we liquidated our 6 Airbnbs at the same time I was flipping. And what happened is that I just got crazy busy with real estate, lending, construction, just diving it all into each other. And what was more important about that is until 2020, I was what's known as a buyer's agent. I would spend the nights, weekends, all the time showing people homes. I normally did not list a home. It made sense if I'm working with a mortgage, lending, they could go hand in hand. So it's almost all buyer stuff. So how do you become a listing agent? Well, most of my buyer's agents were not working. They were walking their dogs around the neighborhood. I didn't even know they all lived near me. But apparently all realtors were basically not working that much that were buyer's agents because you need to be a listing agent to make it for those COVID years for a little bit. But I was doing well. And I didn't think about it fully then. I know I was flipping homes and doing other stuff and keeping busy. But after I moved here, especially, I realized that I was coaching a bunch of agents, working with people, and I realized, wait a minute, without listings, you really can't make it. And so there's a way to create listings, which I'll get more into in a sec. Let's go over different problems first. So, no, you can go back to that one just real quick. So in real estate, what you may not realize is most real estate companies make money by recruiting real estate agents. Most real estate companies, not people that sell real estate, they don't actually make money selling houses. Okay, so it's more of a sales on sales. And the reason that would be is most real estate agents, companies don't make houses. If you don't make a product, it's hard to have a bunch of people sell a product. So why would I have 100 people selling product if I don't have that? Now, there's great individual agents, and almost always you'll see sign with their name and their agency representing themselves. So it doesn't mean that Remax is better than Keller Williams is better than this. It's that agent, that relationship, which is beautiful, but it's really hard to scale a business on a one-person name that just sells homes or projects. Loan officers, similarly, either A, when rates are low, are telemarketing, cold calling, going for rates, which is great, but then when rates shift, they get fired and let go and they go to another company. Or they do really well at gaining relationships one-on-one with individuals to keep them afloat, but that's still hard to scale relationships at that level with people that are also scaling relationship. So real estate and lending inherently were difficult. So talk to a real estate or lending to come in with me to grow was really hard. Contractors normally go directly to clients and sell product. They don't normally deal with, loan officers and real estate agents, and vice versa. Oftentimes when a realtor or somebody needs work, it's a low cost handyman, whatever. It's not necessarily a high upgrade. It can be, there are referrals, but just not a great business to base your whole income off of. And you would know if you've ever worked with real estate agents and stuff like that. But again, and investors almost always would be like, well, I'm gonna work with a realtor because I'll save my own money. I'll be my own realtor. I'll use my private cash to make money. I'll work on the project myself or get my own crews, and I'll be my own investor. I'll just make myself money. Again, and they invest, so it's an investment. So I don't even need to make money today, it's for the future. Well, none of those things work together. Well, at the next phase, I think they should. I think if your business used those skills and you created your own product like a home builder would, where I build a model home and I sell off the neighborhood and then I sell my model home, what happens if I pick a home and remodel it and make that my showroom, make that my office, make that my model home? The reverse technology in your mind has to take place. It's not necessarily selling for the most cash fast. That would be what you would want for your clients. For me, I may not want to sell that home for a long time. So I'm trying to build the neighborhood, market the neighborhood, door knock the neighborhood, do all the stuff, use it to sell projects. So that's what we started doing. And that's what I believe 2020 taught me is we flipped 12 homes, gave us 48 real estate sales, 36 loans, and 30 construction projects. And that was by myself without my aid assistance. Because we had a product. And that's what I had when I was a home builder. I had a product. And that's what lending has sometimes a product, but this is creating the product off of it. And it can spin off to real estate, lending, construction, but putting that all together, it allows me to avoid some construction lawsuit, legal issues that tend to happen because I'm not building for somebody. I am my own client. So whatever was available, if it sucks, it sucks. If it's bad, it's bad. It's good, it's good. I can work with that within my own construction. And then also I can know that I'm going to be there for the next 6 months. Usually, from the time I get the house under contract and before closing, I can start marketing the neighborhood. Once I close it, I can start marketing it. The whole time I'm doing that whole neighborhood. So I spent 6 months having an office site. If I made cell phones, probably I'd open up a cell phone shop where I wanted to work. Then I'd hire some salespeople. I might have some financing like contract ideas, and I might even make phones or fix phones, all in that shop. But in real estate, we don't actually have shops. We maybe go meet with other salespeople that want to sell against us, but we don't all work together. So anyway, that's where this came from. Basically, I use a home builder mentality to do the showroom idea. I like to fold in commissions when possible from the real estate lending and whatever. So part of the reason why we can make a profit for our investors, even if we don't make a profit flipping homes, is I'm not paying Zillow like I used to 30, 40 grand a year for leads. I'm not buying leads. I'm not doing anything but self-gen leads. And I'm folding back in. So oftentimes what happens in many companies is that realtor, that loan officer is very successful, but the other 95% of them aren't. So what happens is that guy makes good money, but he doesn't fold it into the rest of the company to take care of the rest of the people. But in this situation, any construction profits, any real estate profits, any lending profits, all are going into the same company to build it up. So even if it lost money flipping the home, I'm pretty sure we don't always think about this place we have the office at or this place where we're here now making money itself until we sell it someday. If it was a marketing piece to get clients to walk in and grow the business, that's how we think. Well, that's what isn't done in residential, but that's what I've found is missing. So anyway, there's a lot of creative growth options too, but we'll get to that later. Go to the next one. This is a money graph, so it doesn't really help you too much. But basically what happens is in a home run situation, like the last 2 flips we did in California, it takes about 5 months to buy, fix, sell a property. So in a 12-month span, we could do 2, right? Typically it takes around 100 grand for us to flip a place. We get special deals and financing because we've been doing it a while. I have a construction background. I've been doing this quite a bit. We're on our 28th partner flip. But basically, when you roll in the profits and you also use the fact that you should get about 2 real estate deals and 2 loan deals and 1.5 construction deals if done right, off of each project, it typically turns 100 grand into about a 495K gross. Now that's gross. Obviously, you gotta pay people commission. There's fees and different stuff, and you don't always hit a home run. But the profit margin works out pretty well. But most importantly, all the clients in here, I'm not selling or collecting from anybody. They're people that have used us for other projects, or we used our own self. So then once we sell and do one, we do it again and we make money. So let's go next one. So how would you refer people to me? Well, I still have to make money. This takes time to make money. So part of the thing is I am still a buyer's agent by heart. So I show in LA County, Orange County, Riverside. I show night day. I spent 13 months showing my last client, negotiated a really hard deal for them, which I didn't mind. And we knew going in, a great communicator about how hard it was gonna be. And we got something that we weren't supposed to get. A home FHA, we didn't qualify for FHA, and we did repairs ourselves. So we did some creative stuff. But also, if you find ugly homes, you refer it over to me. I can even pay you for finding me ugly product. Family member, somebody has something. I tried to take ugly product to make it good. That's how I get my product versus buying land and building something. It's just quicker. I usually can flip within 30 to 90 days versus when I was a home builder, especially custom home builder, it would take up to 18 months. And rats, just an easy one. I flip attics. It's a soft, easy touch. But basically from my attic project days, gut the whole thing out, eradicate them getting in. So I have to get rid of all the insulation, go get the wiring fixed up, scrub, fumigate, put galvanized steel inside out, make the whole thing clean and new. Most everybody you know doesn't take care of their attic, so they're probably letting in a lot of bad stuff into their health. So a great healthy thing would be do that, and it allows me to also tag some of y'all into your services. Next. Success stories. So Gary and Susan, I helped them back in 2018. We took a self-directed IRA, used it to purchase our first Airbnb flip. That's what I help them specialize in, is we buy, fix up, and rent out short-term rental. We use 300K, and now obviously it helped that COVID boosted things, but now that 300K is worth about 3.1 million in 5 years. And they are an older couple. And how did that work? It's just using the right math and logistics and location. And obviously they were smart. We worked our intelligence together, what was the great play for them and how we would do it, all off of short-term rentals. But next one, Andrina, that's that FHA one. Client that normally couldn't buy anything. They didn't qualify, put 3 brothers together. It wasn't just a loan thing. There's no houses that matched, and had to get really creative. So a lot of first-time home buyers typically use me because I'm willing to go that long-term extra mile for a less price. Jeremiah and sister. So most of my investors are not people like you guys. Most of my people, like for example, on this next flip, I have 5 people that work at a restaurant. The busboy chipped in 5K, 4 other people chipped in 5K. So they put in 25K, we're gonna pay them 20% on that, and they get to be a part of a property flipping team. It's this Jeremiah and his sister, I think he's 21, she's like 23. They went in on the catfish deal, the 2 of them, and then they're rolling it over to the next flip. So most of people like that, most people in my industry think that, oh, I know an investor, let me introduce you. Well, for whatever reason, investors don't actually see what I'm talking about. Even do realtors, even do loan companies, because it's different. So it's normally somebody that has money in 401k or just sitting in the bank or other stuff that they can baby step their way into making money. And again, a guarantee is difficult. How do you do the guarantee? But like I said, because we're folding back in commissions and other stuff, we're able to pay even if we lose money. So that helps guarantee a give and take on this. Plus, if we make more, we give 70% of our profits to our investment team. So the more we make, the more they make. So way to make even more than 20%. Next one. If you want to look me up, I have a podcast called Dante's Pro Tips. I have a YouTube channel. Obviously, I Zero Down Dante. You can find me there. Danza Dante. You can find me there. I am all over the internet. I've been running a lot of companies for many years. This is not my first go-around, but this is my first go-around to not do what everybody else does. I'm not running a real estate company the normal way, or the lending or the construction. Next up. This is who I do it for, my family, my inspiration. Part of the reason we came here is for the beach. This is my little 3-year-old Luke. He's the hardcore crazy man of the bunch, but my other daughter Jazz there, Jen, my wife Lucy, and RJ. So that's my motivation every day. They're all in school or doing other stuff, so I am the sole provider. So I try to do 7 days a week, nonstop. So that's why I do so much. When you support me, you're supporting them. These are fun. I like before and afters. So this was a cool property where we took down the wall, we didn't have a high budget, so we needed a support system, so flip it. We went ahead and created this custom bookcase to support the middle, and we opened everything up with the tile and made this nice big space with good colors. We couldn't retexture, couldn't redo sheetrock, but we made this place feel nice and new. It took 6 days on the market to sell. At that time, I was trying to sell quick. I didn't have the idea of trying to grow my business as much, but that's okay. It's pre-staging too. I didn't get all the furniture up yet, but next. This is a cute little home in a really great neighborhood that had no reusable garage. It was falling down and not a really great usable layout. This was their formal dining room, and this was their breakfast nook. Flip it. So we converted this. This is barn doors for a 3rd bedroom, and then there's a cool bathroom with a stand-up tub, and we made an Airbnb. And this one, normally the rent over there was $900 a month for this. It's in Texas, of course. It was a $90,000 property, but we were making $3,200 a month in short-term rental off of it, which was super cool. And because of COVID, we got to liquidate it and make a profit. We didn't think that was going to happen because it was an odd layout, but people were buying anything, so it worked out. Next one. Oh, this is the bathroom. So yeah, I just like this. It's not the greatest pictures. Next one. So we converted it here. That's the tub, and we made this onto an extra bathroom. So it was kind of neat. There's better pictures to do it. I just didn't have them with me. Next one. This is the Catfish 1 mini. Y'all saw it, you walked it, whatever. But this is the living room. So obviously, fireplace that had Christmas lights inside there. Obviously, the carpeting, the wallpaper. Let's see how it looked when we finished. A little bit nicer. Took it out, opened it up. Ceramic tile floors. You know, we had to do mini splits because there wasn't an attic, and I didn't want to screw with this look. But anyway, we added a laundry room too. Next. This is just an ugly kitchen. I can't really tell much because it was so small. Next up, this is a better look of it, but we kind of took a tiny house and made the best of it. What was good about this one is we bought it for $55K and we put $20K into it, and then we still made a $20,000 profit. Not huge numbers, obviously we're talking Texas numbers, but the important part is that we bought it, fixed it, and sold it within 90 days. So it was nice to be super quick. Next up, this is that same house on the outside. Doesn't look that bad, but let's pop it up a little bit better when we finished it. So having nice colors, some transitions, putting a new roof on, but not necessarily changing a ton of stuff. Next up, the inside of one of our homes. I don't even remember which one it is after all. We're 28 of them or 27 of them already, but inside, you know, just going with some wood floors, getting some nice clean colors. Another, you know, this was up and coming neighborhood, probably a C minus neighborhood, but again, we were able to get this one done in, I think it took us 27 days on this one to completely renovate it, which was great. Because we were really thin on budget. Next one, the kitchen of that same property, and then flip it a little bit better. So we went and put the back wall, the shelving to kind of save some cost, you know, rotated around here a little bit. Not perfect because the fridge setup wasn't set up in the right location, so things don't always go perfect. We took out some walls and kind of tealed it up, but it came out pretty nice. So good. Here's a really ugly home that we did. Go to the next one. And just kind of cleaned it up with some wood floors and, you know, just a different color outlet, stuff like that. So shaping some closets, whatever. So just stuff. I don't know if there's any more, but let's see what you got. Oh, so this one, another Airbnb. So sometimes you want to create a feeling. So go to what we did. So we created a feeling, a place you could visit. Kind of gave this kind of a Christmassy feel almost. It kind of this coolness to it when you're really a hot place like Texas. It's kind of nice. Went with this brown cheap wood floor throughout, and then and shaped it with colors. It's still in the process. We actually lived in it for a little bit too, but yeah, it worked out good. And I think this is that same house. Again, idea, it was just dirty, wasn't that bad. And then flip it with the blue, the standout, the right little staging of stuff, the color schemes, you can kind of warm it up. So a lot of the interior decorating we did, had a staging company as well. We owned the furniture. We worked with an hotel to get their mattresses. So 10 mattresses for free, which was pretty cool if you get them when they're cycling their mattresses. So we could do our Airbnbs. I don't know if there's anything else, is there? Nope, that's it. All right, cool, questions. I know, boom. I wanna make sure I fit it all in there in time. I still do dancing sometimes, so obviously just choreography mainly. Last time I did dancing with the realtors in Texas, raised $100,000 for the Texas Real Estate Political Action Committee. Basically, I take everyday people, match them up with a dance teacher, and raise funds, and it works out really well. So I haven't done it here yet, only because most of the realtors I know or lenders I was working with weren't making any money, so it was hard for them to participate. But in regular business, it's a great way to kind of fundraise and have fun and do a once-a-lifetime thing. In Texas, most of the time when someone did do it, it was just a memory for their life. You know, something they would have never done. What we make them do is somebody else in the business nominates them, so they don't nominate themselves, and they get in there, and then we take care of them the whole time. But it's a super cool thing. So if you ever want to try to do something like that, let me know. I'll help you work that. I'll run it and I'll help teach it. Excuse me. And we are on flip number 28, but again, we can flip as many homes as we can tag people in together. So what we try to do is focus just on that. So again, doesn't mean don't use this for some real estate or other stuff needs, but really the main thing is we're growing an internal business where we build and market off of that. So, but we do it all 3 counties as well. Yes.
Who picks the color schemes and all
Me.
that? Really?
Yeah. I actually
awesome.
suck at construction, by the way, so I do. So I definitely, if I was gonna need something done, I'd call Jessica over myself almost any given day of the week and on Sunday because she could physically do it. I am not that, but what I am good at is organizing, decorating, and stylizing some stuff to where it optimizes it. So like my family can clean, but they ask me to where should the pictures go, where's the thing to make it feel and flow. So just proper spacing, proper coloring, knowing to go dark than light, and changing things up will make a big difference in how you do stuff. So that's why I do most of my work.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment too that I met Dante at a few different realtor broker preview meetings, and he shows up with a hard hat on. And I was like, oh, what's this guy all about? You know, and he would give a quick spiel, and I sort of understood it, but I didn't understand it. But when I went to the house on Catfish, as you said, that's when I think I really understood your business model. It was like I could see exactly what you had done, and then you had the before and after pictures. So the showroom thing is powerful.
Well, and just so you know, it would have been nearly impossible to do that on a regular client's home. A normal client doesn't want you just having people over anytime. And so part of what I like is to be able to eventually have events out there, get-togethers out there, and market and grow different options even for you guys as well. I'm a team player. For example, most of what I would do is somebody would come and say, do you got an electrician? Boom, yeah, regular client or whatever. I would hand over to plumbing, electrician or whatever. I'm not necessarily the retail space guy, even though I do some design and consulting and sales for companies. But for the most part, that's another play, is being able to have a showroom spot where I can sell flooring and other services all together is where I find value for me, for you guys. So, but yeah, I love that. That was our first flip house party, but it went fantastic. I think the only thing different is that part of the team wasn't fully integrated into the team, so we weren't able to maximize the marketing. But now we are better, now that I created my own real estate company here in Texas, and my own lending company, and doing the construction. So I had to go all formal, get all the corporations, all licensing squared up. So it's a lot of been work over the last 6-8 months, but got it up there. So any thoughts?
Just a comment rather than a question. You seem to have incredible resilience. You've had a lot of setbacks and ups and downs, but it looks like you find a way to come out on top. And it also seems like you seem to take it in your stride. Like,
well, I think
really
it's all, and thank you so much. I think I didn't realize it as much until I moved here. I'm part of a men's mental health group called Metal, and it reminded me that all of us that do it, we have our own insecurities, our own issues, our own stuff. But sometimes having those struggles actually sharpens the tools. It's like my daughter has a little bit of difficulty working a job or keeping anything going because she maybe had a little bit more plush life. Because I took really good care of her since I didn't have a dad, I guess, or whatever. I tried to do really good, but it makes it a little harder to get out there and experience those. So I look at those negatives that were really devastating at the time, and don't get me wrong, really hard. I mean, as a teenager, suicidal. I've still got cuts from where I cut myself all the time and try to hang myself, all the little stuff you do, you know, that pushed it to an angle. But surviving of all that, I can look back on it with appreciation and realize if it wasn't for those struggles, I might not have been able to be independent and handle what life has, because I would maybe be reliable on parents that I don't have, or on money that it's not there, or other things. And so it's helped push me farther than anything else. I don't even know that I could have. You know, I feel like if I would even stay in San Pedro, I was on a track, I was on a math team, I was on all these special things. I was probably on my way to going to college and doing something really great in that world, which is nothing wrong with it. But if life had thrown some curveballs, I don't know how I would handle it. And here now all the curveballs are just like, you know, it's okay. There's always a positive on anything. It's like, my thing is, people say everything happens for a reason. I don't believe that, but I do believe you can make a reason for everything that happens, and why not make it positive? And that's my mantra basically for my life. So cool.
Take care.